Action. I'm Russell Inman, and joining us tonight from Ward 2 is Councilman Tim Jones. Tim, how are you?
Always good.
Always good.
You betcha.
We had a pretty sizable meeting tonight.
Yes, we did.
A lot of meat in the agenda, a lot of things talked about and discussed. It started off with a proclamation. It's National Police Week, and we know here in the city of Florissant we have one of the finest police departments, and one was recognized tonight by the mayor.
You know, it almost seems like every council meeting we're giving out something to our police department because it's top notch, and that's one thing that we do brag about, and we do it for a reason because we do got the best police department around. I think everybody talks about it. It's always positives. I think Tim Lowry does a great job communicating with the residents of Florissant. Our officers are pretty hands-on with the people in our neighborhoods, and that's what everybody likes to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. Public hearings tonight. The first one that was postponed again. That was going to be a conversation on the new self-storage facility for U-Haul. They were going to do a self-storage and rental facility there, but they didn't show up to talk tonight, and that got postponed to the next meeting?
That is correct. There were some materials and different things that we want to keep on a level playing field. We don't like to jump around and then somebody points over, how come they got to do it? We didn't. We asked them to provide some more information and some more materials that we can see hands-on. Evidently, they couldn't come up with it tonight, so that's why they weren't here, I assume.
And that dealt with the masonry code?
That is correct.
There was a request to issue an amendment to a B5 ordinance. This is allowing for an existing ground sign at the property at 14070 New Halls Ferry Road. Dollar Tree has opened up a facility, built a new building there, kind of in the front lot part of Lowe's. Sounded like they were having some difficulty finding placements for new signs, and they're adding on to the pole signs, the existing signs for Lowe's, and they're just going to have a sign underneath the Lowe's sign. Yeah,
I think this was never planned, so this was not thought about when that original sign went in there, that this would ever happen. Now we have that new store in there. We're trying to accommodate them, but we don't want car accidents right there because of the new signs. So that's why he came back up and spoke again to give us a little bit better picture of what the signs are going to do and how they're going to face.
And it sounded like Lowe's was working well with Dollar Tree
to
kind of come up to something that would mutually make sense for each of them, as well as not kind of litter Florissant with another pole sticking up.
That is correct, and that's just on the Halls Ferry side too. And I did ask during that questioning if they was planning on doing it on Lindbergh, and they said no.
Okay. Public hearing for review of a report of the Redistricting Commission to take public comment concerning the Commission's recommendation. This was an interesting topic tonight for discussion. The City of Florissant formed in January, I believe it was, this Redistricting Commission to look at the boundaries of each of the wards and to make sure that everything is kind of, for simplistic sake, cut up equally, fairly.
Yes, very complicated situation. Each ward has appointed someone to represent that ward. Then it all starts back to we was provided with some bad numbers years back, so it's not the City of Florissant's fault. We had to fix that or work on fixing that first. Then we had to sit down with the NCP and go over some different things with them. They wanted, they were requesting 2 of the wards to be majority minority. We have 4 options to look at that are appointed members headed by Sue Geerling. They presented them to us in the public tonight. So now we have 30 days after that was passed to us to come up with the decision that we think is best. Is what we're looking at here is we don't want to shift people around, confuse people. How come I'm getting moved from this ward to this ward? We're trying to make everybody happy, and sometimes that's hard to do. When you take a little bit out of one ward, you shift it over to another ward, then you have to shift another piece from another ward over to make up that ward. Very, very complicated. So we have it in our hands now for the next 30 days to make a decision, and hopefully, I think we're all on the same page. We want to do what's best for the city of Florissant, make it equal for everybody.
And unfortunately, we're still working with 2010 census numbers here in 2016. So, in 4 more years, when another census begins to take place, or 5 years when another census begins to take place, we might be doing this all over again.
That is correct. We can only cross our fingers that it might not change a whole bunch again. Like I said, we get comfortable with our residents, and they know who represents them, and then we come along and have to change it, and then change it again, and then change it again. It gets very confusing out there. And like I said, the first set of numbers was presented to us were bad numbers. They were supplied to the NAACP and us were just incorrect numbers. So we're trying to patch that up. Like I said, we're trying to make everyone happy, but it is a very complicated situation.
And in each of the proposals, it doesn't unseat any existing council members because they made sure that you're still existing in that ward.
That is correct. They did some time back have one that they looked at that it unseated 3 councilmen where there would have been no councilmen in 3 wards, and they've seen that that was not correct way to do things. So we moved on to some other ways. We have 4 of them now. We're going to choose from them and go on from there.
So 30 days you've got to look through that and work on that. So in a month's time, we'll hear more.
That is correct.
Okay. Second readings, we had ordinance to rezone TAUC Properties LLC, the property located at 1090 North Highway 67. This is the planned commercial district to allow for an urgent care facility. Total Access, I believe, is the company.
That is correct. Very fine and funny doctor that came in with us. We all got a giggle last council meeting with him. But no, there's a small building that's been there for some time now. I think this will be a great addition to the city of Florissant, which will be going in Gerard Hankey's ward, which he's been keeping a close eye on, going up there, poking around, looking what's happening. He's trying to stay on top of it. I think he's doing a good job of it. And I think we all welcome it here into the city of Florissant. You know, not always going up to your emergency rooms are always so pleasant, which this guy made a couple quick jokes about, that his place will be a little bit more invitable with happy people. And I asked him, is everybody happy? He said they don't work there if they're not happy. So he definitely came up with the right answer for all of us up here.
And the next one was in Caputa's ward. This is an ordinance to authorize special use permit for Metropolitan Events LLC. They're going to allow a banquet center in the property located at 11 Patterson Plaza.
Yes, there was a couple dance studios in there, and they have moved on to bigger places now. So we do have a small gap in there to fill. The young lady came up to us last council meeting and explained what she wanted to do. We all thought it was a pretty good idea, so we all voted for that to happen.
Okay. New business tonight, we've got some requests. The first 3, I'll deal with chickens. 3 chickens at Bellamine Lane, another 3 hens at Borgia Lane, and 2 more chickens located at Ensenada Drive. So
Yeah, chickens have become very popular. It's a wholesome food. It's fresh right out of your chicken in your backyard. And I think everybody got a giggle tonight. The one in Ward 2, which is my ward, is on the street called Ensenada. So they said 3 chicken ensenadas, and it almost sounded like a dinner plate. And I had to reassure everybody that we're not going to cook our chickens over on Ensenada.
that's good. Then we had a request for beer and wine liquor license at Paint It Like You Mean It, LLC. That went okay tonight. And a request for a beer and wine liquor license at Viet Thai, located at 8458 North Lindbergh.
Yes, I drove by the Thai place when they were still working on it, and introduced myself to them guys. Wasn't my ward. I was eating a sandwich in that plaza when I stopped by. The other one is the paint, and you're going to have a glass of wine while you paint. They say that's a big thing. It's popping up in cities all over the United States. And
I've seen a couple of those in other municipalities.
big applauses. I mean, everybody's wanting one here, and we was very overwhelmed when they came here. We were happy to see them jump aboard, especially in our city.
Okay, bills for first reading. We had the ordinance for the property there for Dollar Tree. That went with 1 reading tonight. We had an ordinance authorizing an appropriation of $7,000 from The general revenue fund, this is maintenance supplies reimbursing the golf course for some repairs to the creek.
Yes. As everybody knows that their house, which my house does back up in Ward 2 to a creek, mine, I'm very fortunate to have concrete creeks. Some of them are not concrete creeks through our inner city in different places, and that usually causes problems with erosion. When you have your waters come up and down, we do definitely have problems. Tim Barrett, that used to work for us, was very on top of that with MSD. Very good. He knew that in and out, had a very good connection over there with them guys. So we try to pay close attention what's happening with that stuff, and we try to stay on top of it. If we don't fix it when it starts going, it become a complete mess if we try to ignore it.
There was one reading on ordinance amending Chapter 600 of the Florissant City Code. This is relating to the liquor licenses and licensees.
Yes.
An ordinance adopting a policy against sweatshop practices.
Yes. A lot of cities throughout St. Louis County, I think everywhere in the United States, that's been a big thing that's came up for some years now. A lot of people don't want to be responsible for some of the uniforms, boots, and stuff that we get that are made in different countries where there's sweatshop labor going on. And I think in the last couple of years, everybody sees them burning down and some of the tormented ways they're worked over there. And I think everybody's trying to be in good faith that we don't want to do that, especially with city monies, that we do want to see that people are getting treated right and paid in the proper wages that is set forth in them cities.
Very good. There was an ordinance authorizing an appropriation of $12,000. This is from the General Revenue Fund to unemployment claim reserves, reimbursement for unemployment benefits. There was a first reading on ordinance authorizing $35,000 from the Park Improvement Fund. This is capital additions, a purchase of land at 575 St. Charles Street.
Yes, we just acquired 2 pieces of land. That was Tim Lee's doing, which he's sharp at that. Did a very good job and definitely got his bargain prices on those 2 pieces of property. Definitely valued it a lot more money, and we ended up doing very good at it. So hopefully that's going to help us out in the future with different endeavors that we have here at the city, such as the Valley of Flowers that just passed. We are always short parking and different things like that, so I think that's going to help us out tremendously in the future.
And there was an appropriation of $25,000 for capital additions. Oh, this is also another
Correct.
piece for that.
It was 2 plots just across.
Okay.
They almost touched base with each other, but there were 2 plots.
An ordinance amending Chapter 600 Florissant City Code, adding a definition of brew pub associated with licensing fees. And we talked about at the last meeting, the first brew pub now for the city of Florissant.
That is going in at Congino's, where all my council members are at right now. I will be there shortly to come down and get some good food. And no, they're building a brew pub in their basement. They're very pumped up about it. It's been some time. Like I said, we move around after each council meeting and go down and have a beer or soda, grab something to eat at each restaurant in Florissant. We try to move around. Tonight is Congino's night.
All right.
And so, no, we're looking forward to a brew pub here. They're becoming very popular. A lot of other municipalities have them. We're also trying to reach out and draw some more of them in here.
And Tim, you always reach out for team donations, and council announcement was made tonight that the letter carriers, is it this Saturday?
Yes, this
They're
Saturday.
They're picking up canned goods from, well, every house, because they see everybody.
You betcha. And I hope everybody takes time, and I do hit on that a lot. I mean, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. Everybody acts different about that situations, but there's always somebody hungry, morning, noon, or night. And sometimes we don't take a glare at ourselves and see how fortunate we are. And we got a closet full of extra canned goods, or we got some extra change, and we do need to pay attention to that and take time when you're going up to grab a newspaper or something, run down a couple canned goods to team. You brought up which Gerard Hankey is a past mail carrier. That was his trade. You're right. This Saturday, if everyone in the city of Florissant comes up with a couple extra canned goods, you don't have to run it up the team. You can put it right out by your mailbox in a bag or something, and your local postal guy will pick them up.
Let's fill those trucks up.
Let's hope so. You betcha. Every can counts, and it really does.
Sure, absolutely. What else is going on in your ward that covered the topics for the agenda tonight?
There's always something happening in my ward. I'm a very active person out there, what everybody knows, and I think the biggest thing we can come back as far as drawbacks and is there's going to be a construction job at Cortez. They're going to have to V-open a ditch on Cortez, which is going to cause some confusion on the traffic. I think we got it narrowed down. Hopefully, we're talking maybe 4 to 6 weeks long. I met with the engineers with MSD and our city engineer out there maybe a week and a half ago, and we looked at the project, looked how long it's going to take, what it's going to affect, and stuff like that. Everything in Ward 2, though, seems to be going pretty good. I mean, it's nonstop. I mean, you got to keep up with things, and the more people I touch out there, the more people end up calling me, and I tell them the more sets eyes I have on different streets, the more I can get done for them in this city with having contacts out there. Another thing I like to brag about is our Valley to Flowers that just happened. There was no police incidents whatsoever, which we have the top of the line police force. I think everybody made plenty of money this weekend. We dodged the rain showers, believe it or not, which everybody's used to getting. I hate to say that throughout the years, but I think it was very successful. We was in the parade Sunday. We didn't get rained on. There was plenty of people out. I think it was great. Very successful. The council, the mayor, I think the residents of the city, everybody was very happy with everything that happened over there. We did have our famous circus over at the Egan Center too. Very successful again. Like I said, there was one little small incident they said over
Fighting over funnel cakes.
If that's the worst thing,
We can handle that.
one of the police officers did tell me when they went over, that guy did have white powder on his face when they was talking to him, and I take it that was a good thing. So if we got to get 2 funnel cake machines next year, then we'll go ahead and do that. But no, it's good to hear something simple like that. Is just outstanding.
Well, Tim, appreciate everything that you're doing for Ward 2. Thanks for taking the time out tonight to go through the agenda.
You bet. And like I said, you guys, we try to stay as active as we can, but it's up to you guys. You guys got to make the call. I know there's a lot of hesitations out there. We need you guys. If you see something wrong in your neighborhood, call the police department. If you see something, you need questions answered, call your councilman. Call City Hall. We need some help, you guys. It takes 2, and we are very active. We're moving a lot of things behind the scene right now that I'd rather not talk about, but we got a bunch of other things coming up that I think this city's going to be very happy about that we're doing right now, that we're working feverishly on. Jackie Pagano has taken the crown.
That's right.
We call her the new queen now, so she's the president of the council. It's been some time since we've had a woman calling the shots, and I'm in full support of that. It's time for strong women, and I think this is the year for it, and I think it's a good thing. So I think Jackie will do a fantastic job. She's definitely bullheaded sometimes, and she'll go in there, and she likes everybody's opinion, and she likes to bounce things off each other, and it's a great thing that sometimes we agree not to disagree, and sometimes agree to agree, but it's good when you got that sitting around a table. That is how you get things done and you move this city.
All right, Tim. Well, here's to getting things done the rest of 2016.
You betcha. Hey, I'm ready for it.
Thanks for watching. I'm Russell Inman. It's been Council Action. See you next time.